Hall of Famer Willie Mays, one of the greatest players in Major League history, has died at the age of 93. The Say Hey kid spent all but 2 seasons of his career with the Giants, where he won the NL MVP twice and was a 24-time All-Star, trailing only Hank Aaron for the most appearances of all time. Mays won his only World Series in 1954 with the then New York Giants, making the catch in Game 1 of that series. He finished his playing days with 660 home runs, good for 6th on the all-time list, while batting .301 across a 23-year career. And we are now joined by CBS Sports MLB analyst and insider Jim Bowden as we look back at the life and the career of Willie Mays. And Jim, he's a 24-time All-Star World Series champ, 12-time Gold Glove winner, always in the conversation when it came to MVP. But I just want to ask you, how do you encapsulate Willie Mays' career?
Well, Willie Mays, first of all, was the greatest center fielder overall that ever played the game. Now, I never got to see him in person, so I know that by many different ways. One, we can look at it statistically. 2, we can watch video. But more importantly, it was my conversations throughout my baseball career with other Hall of Famers that either played with him or played against him. Frank Robinson, who managed for me, the late Frank Robinson, the Hall of Famer, spoke so highly of Willie Mays to me, and he and I would spend hours talking about the kind of defensive center fielder he was, his offense, his blend of power and speed, the rarity of the talent, and then the joy that Willie Mays played the game with. He was the guy that when he walked into the room, it was regal, and it was always with a smile. A difference maker as a human being, not just a player. And then you would talk to players like from the Big Red Machine, like Johnny Bench and the late Joe Morgan, who just raved about their witnessing him in their lifetime, being able to watch him play. And in baseball, there's only a handful of people, players that you look at and say, who's the greatest player of all time? And you never have that conversation, ever, without Willie Mays' name being mentioned. He's always been in that category. The power, the speed. Now, of course, we all know him from Game 1 of the World Series in 1954 when he made that great catch over his head with his back to home plate as we all watched his jersey number 24. All of us have seen that over and over again. But this truly was the superstar. You mentioned 24 All-Star games. Can you imagine that? Winning the MVP twice, winning a couple of Gold Glove awards. But he also epitomized everything right about the human being that played the game. I got to meet him personally because we drafted Barry Bonds when I was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Barry Bonds was the godson of Willie Mays. And so I got to meet him and many times. And he was just a difference maker when you walk in a room. He really was royalty, and he really represented the history of baseball. I always got goosebumps whenever I had the opportunity to have conversations with him, including that night that Barry Bonds hit the home run that broke the record. And I always loved the fact that Willie Mays stood up for Barry Bonds. And when Barry was going through all of the PED rumors and all the allegations, Willie Mays was there to support him. And Barry gave Willie a lot of credit. And I think that he was a true leader to the game. So he'll be missed. This is a tough time in baseball. We will all mourn him, but also remember the great memories that he brought all of us that love the game of baseball.
Jim, I feel like there's a common thread with what you're saying and what people in the baseball world have to say about Willie Mays. I know we all remember him from his work on the field, but also it's that smile, it's that personality and what he brought to the game. But with that being said, I just want to know, what do you think, or how do you think maybe the game will remember, because obviously we have to call him, he's one of the greatest baseball players to ever step on the field, but how do you think he will be remembered, his legacy?
I mean, I think he's going to remember being a very profound influence, not just on the game of baseball, but the fabric of America, and really bringing people together and really helping get through the racial barrier that we've all had to deal with, and racism. And Willie Mays was one to bring everybody together. You know, he was that kind of leader, that kind of strong personality. But baseball-wise, it's pretty clear. One of the greatest players that ever played the game, and an unbelievable combination of tools. We talk in baseball a lot of time about players having the 5 tools. Well, Willie Mays was the example of the player that you all wanted because he was that 5-tool player that could do absolutely everything on the field. But what he was off the field was important, not just for baseball, but really for America and bringing people together.
Yeah, absolutely will be missed, not just by his family, but the baseball world missing the career, the impact, the life of Willie Mays. Jim Bowden with beautiful words just on his career and legacy. We appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much. An outpouring of love around the sports world with the news of Mays passing. Barry Bonds, Mays' godson, posting this on Instagram. I am beyond devastated and overcome with emotion. I have no words to describe what you mean to me. You helped shape me to be who I am today. Thank you for being my godfather and always being there. Give my dad a hug for me. Rest in peace, Willie. I love you forever. Other voices around baseball, Jimmy Rollins tweeting, Willie Mays, number 24, was a legend amongst legends. I am blessed to have spent a few weeks around Willie, and I can tell you this, baseball lived deep inside his heart, and he could trash talk with the best of them. Thank you, Willie. And CeCe Sabathia, I'll never forget this day when I walked in and heard, that's that boy who wears his hat like this. Rest in peace, Willie Mays. You changed the game forever and inspired kids like me to chase our dream. Thank you for everything that you did on and off the field, always in our hearts. Willie Mays passing away at the age of 93, one of the best to ever do it.